Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook. As always, I have Mr. Kelly Cook in the building. How are you doing? Not in my building. This is virtual, but good. And so over the past couple of weeks, we've really gone off some different topics. We talked about career nights. We talked about FSBOs, really, building up your business and how to do some of those operational things. So we've talked about marketing in the past as well, and bringing new business in, things like that. But as we always know, word of mouth is probably some of the best exposure that you can get. So it's really important that not only are you providing great service to any people that you work with, but also that you are asking for referrals and making sure that you're not leaving any rocks unturned or some sort of great saying like that.
Or stones.
Yeah, stones, maybe that's it. But so today we kind of want to talk about how you go about asking for those referrals and kind of how you follow up and what that process looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're exactly right with the database and referrals. It's the easiest thing and most cost-effective thing, right, that someone could do to get business. It's all about relationships, right? And referrals are a big part of that. So, there's two different sides of this argument, right? Like you should ask for referrals or you should not ever ask for referrals. And then when you get a referral, what's the behavior around that? So we'll tackle that in the next couple of minutes. But I am more of the camp, because you got to take a line somewhere. It can't be both, right? That you do ask for referrals. You do, but you do it in the right way. And so one of the number one way that we call it around here is magical moments. Okay, there's certain things throughout a transaction, especially. So let's talk operationally real quick. Throughout a transaction, there's a lot of different things that happen when someone buys a house or sells a house. So because there's so many different touch points that give you the excuse to call a client or talk to them above and beyond just normally just chatting them up and checking in, there's some things that are magical moments, we call them. Like, for example, when they sign off on a purchase contract if they're selling their house or if they're buying a house, when the appraisal comes back at or above value, when the inspection repairs get all agreed upon and signed off on. These things, right, that people, it's one more domino down to get to the end goal, and the client probably in most cases will be happy, right? That's a magical moment. That's a perfect time to then take advantage of that situation and simply ask very cordially and politely for a referral. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like, so let's just say the house just appraised. You got the work from the lender, the house appraised, and now we're moving on to the final step of final underwriting, and we're that much closer to closing. So what if the call was something like this? Hey, Joe, how you doing? It's Kelly over here. Hey, great news. We just heard from the buyer's lender, and the house appraised. So I know you were kind of worried about that a little bit, but the house did fully appraise for the contract price. So now they are moving forward to getting their final approval through underwriting. So I just wanted to call you and deliver that great news to you. And they say something like, oh, that's fantastic. Thanks for letting me know. That's great news. And they usually say, oh, by the way, what did it appraise for? And you may or may not know, right? Because it's not, the lender doesn't always disclose that if you're on the seller side. But you know what? I don't know the answer. They wouldn't tell us because, frankly, they don't have to. But the great news is I know we're kind of concerned about it, so it's going through. And then you say something like, and by the way, I really enjoyed the process of working with you so far. It's been fantastic, and hopefully you've enjoyed the process working with me as well, my team. We'd love to work with people just like you. If you know of anyone else looking to potentially buy, sell, or invest in real estate that we could help, and you'd be surprised what happens, especially if you ask that at different magical moments along the way. By the time you get to the third, fourth, fifth time, potentially throughout the process, if you do, they're almost like, man, I'm going to find someone for you. Right? They almost feel indebted, So
And maybe if
that's a
you've
really
been
good way to do it.
asking, they, might start thinking of people if you kind of keep it a consistent thing. So by the next time you ask, you're like, actually, I've been thinking about this. I do have somebody, or whatever it is. It kind of stays top of mind for them.
Yeah, that's a real thing that does happen. It's true. That's just the human nature, right? It's how we're all wired. That's why they always say you get by giving, right? And if someone's doing a heck of a job for you, you just almost feel just naturally inclined. Most people do to say, you know what, I'm going to do something for them. And if you know that a cool thing to do for them because you told them is a referral, you're naturally going to keep your antennas up a little bit more than you usually do to probably try to find that referral. Try to listen to that person talking at work about selling a house and you butt in, right? Or whatever, where normally in the past, you just would have just kept walking down the hall, that kind of thing. So that's one way that people just in our industry, I don't think take advantage of enough, whether you do it yourself because you're a one-man show or one-woman show, or if you have a team. If you have a team like we do, then we have training around that, and we incentivize our staff to be able to ask those questions as well. And then they get a referral, they are, bonus and things of that nature, monetarily, as well as just obviously praised, as well. So really cool way to do it. And then the other way was just simply, before you get into contract, another great ways is just simply stay in touch with the clients, because you have the pre-contract phase, and then you have post-closing, right? Post-closing. And so we can talk about reviews on a different podcast, but getting referrals now for life, right? And people have, forever, these words, right? Forever clients, or clients for life, and our clients for life program. But and that's cool. I think you should have a name for it. It's not a bad idea to brand that. But we just call it our VIP clients. That's what we call it, right? And that's our people that are raving fans that love us and give us referrals. And then what we do is we end up treating them different, because your database should be segmented, which we talked about in a previous podcast, to treat those people different throughout the following years to come than of people who are just your past client, who maybe never are that friendly to you for other reason, or just, never refers you. So client events. Go ahead. Yes.
But I was just saying, it all ties together when we talked about the client events and the different touch programs, things like that. It all kind of just goes into the same pot, right?
That's right. And that's right. And there's different ways you can do that, right? So we won't go into client events, but client events is one way. And then you have the excuse of calling them to invite them to the client event and asking them at that point, hey, do you know anyone looking to buy or sell or invest in real estate that we can help out? The other thing is too, we created a client family closed Facebook group, and we will give out a gift every once in a while in that group to just someone in there randomly, and then go deliver it to them, right? And it's a great way to ask potentially at that point too. Now, you don't always necessarily ask, right? If there's a lot of communication going back and forth, then that's the last thing you want to do, right? So I hope the audience is understanding that we're talking about magical moments, and that there is time, especially if it's non-operational, there's no transaction. You should be calling your client once every 3 to 4 months every year, right? So that's some time spread out there, and then you give them the client event, and then you can potentially ask for something back, right? You don't just start with the ask for nothing back.
Right.
So
yeah, it's give and take. One more question for you. So when you do, you're asking your client, the people that you're working with, if they do give you a name, how do you kind of follow up with, or how do you initially reach out to that referral?
Yeah, that's a good question. We always call the referral right away and say, hey, Jamie, give me your name and number, and want to reach out to you right away and take a good care of you. So what can I help you out with, right? That kind of thing, and always tie back to the name. And then when we're done, we always then call the person who referred us, right, and say thank you very much, really appreciate that. Then, as a third step, there's a handwritten note that gets written that the agent should write. I write them too. And we always send a small little token of appreciation, right? And token of appreciation is kind of not a great buzzer necessarily I love, but it's just a little something in there that, a Starbucks gift card, that sort of thing. Just letting them recognize that they that it's appreciated. And we don't want, some people say, well, you don't want to monetize the referral. So, but here's the thing, the gift card's small, it's 10 to 20 bucks. We're not talking like $50, $100 or more, where we're trying to actually put a value on it. So I don't look at that as putting a value on it because it's so small. It's just a small little something, because I don't care who you are. it's like ingrained in you, right? When you're 4 years old and you have a birthday, from sometime in there, you open the card, you wait for something to fall out before you read it, right? A dollar bill or whatever, right? A gift card. So like people just so we just put a little something in there, and then that's just a way of saying thank you as well. Then what we do is when that person that referred us goes under contract, then we send them another gift. Usually we deliver cookies or brownies or something like that to them.
Ooh,
And say,
that
hey,
sounds awesome.
yeah, we say, hey, thanks for the referral of Elizabeth. We actually just went under contract. So again, we're almost there, but enjoy a cookie or 10 on me, whatever it is, right? A dozen. So that's pretty cool too. It's a way to just continue to show appreciation in little tiny segments throughout the process.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Yeah, you talked about, there's some people who say, don't ask for referrals at all. You're definitely on the camp of it is okay when there are those magical moments. And I love that, kind of put a Disney spin on it or something, but like those, when the client's happy and all of that stuff, you really want to, follow up at that point with a referral. So that's awesome. All right. Well, that's all we've got. It is 4th of July weekend coming up here. So we hope you guys all have a safe and, happy celebration. But if anybody has any questions about this or any other topic, I know we kind of mentioned client events, go back and watch that episode. But if you have any questions about any of that stuff or ideas for lessons that we can give you coming up, you can reach Kelly. Where can they reach you?
Yeah, definitely. Please. Love to hear your ideas and your thoughts. 480-442-9868 or at Kelly at kellycookhomes.com. And by the way, like you said, happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America. Love it. We'll see you next time. Bye, Kelly.
See you guys.
Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.